Hey, what's up everyone? Trent here. I've spent the last 3 years of my career working in software sales. Fun fact about me is that I've made over 40,000 cold calls on that headset right there. And in this video, I'm welcoming you into my office, a little remote work from home setup, and sharing with you the realities of what you can actually expect working in software sales. I'm not gonna sell you as to why you should do it. You're gonna have to make a decision for yourself based on the 4 criteria I've broken it down by. And these criteria are pretty universal, so you could compare software sales to investment banking, consulting, whatever other career path you've thought about doing. Those 4 criteria are pay, autonomy, competitiveness, and of course, long-term upside. And if you stick around to the end of the video, I'm gonna give you a 5th bonus criteria that's helped me grow my own personal income from $50,000 a year right out of college to over $140,000 per year as a 25-year-old guy. I live by myself, I try and save a lot of money, and I enjoy making videos helping you find your dream job in sales or whatever path you wanna get into. And of course, become a better salesperson and find your success sooner rather than later. This is day 130 something in a row putting out a new video. So if you're new to the channel, subscribe now. And if you've seen one of my videos before, I'll settle for a like. You could also do both. I know that you guys love that. And let me give you a second now because that's all it takes to hit the like button on this video. I'm gonna keep pestering you throughout the video, so make sure to do it now. Number 1, pay. You of course already heard me going from 50,000 to 140,000. I'll share my tip at the end of the video, but in software sales, a lot of people get in sales and they think, I'll get in sales because I want to make a lot of money. And you have the perception of a pesky, persistent used car salesman. Hey, this is a limited time offer only. You have to buy now. Software sales is not that type of sale, and being that it's more technical, being that it's typically B2B, business to business, and the price tag of these software sales deals are larger, the sales cycles are longer, so the pay is incredibly competitive, and we'll get into some of the other advantageous nature of being in technology. Sharing my own personal experience, the entry-level role in software sales is a sales development representative, SDR, or a business development representative, BDR. You will start of one of the two. They're essentially the same thing. You're tasked with generating pipeline. You'll make cold calls, you'll send emails, you'll do whatever you gotta do to set up meetings with potential companies that your organization wants to sell to and make customers. When you start out, you should expect to make between $40,000 and $70,000 per year. And as you promote up, you become a more senior SDR, and then you'll eventually become an account executive, which is what I am now. I expect to be an account executive for the next couple of years in my career. My on-target earnings as a 25-year-old guy is about $137,000. I expect to promote at the end of this quarter, and my on-target earnings will go up to $150,000. So as you think about the competitive nature of pay, I have friends in finance, I have friends in consulting, I have friends that work in hospitality. It's hard to find a profession that if you're on Wall Street or in Silicon Valley or potentially parts of Austin or Seattle or Washington, D.C., there are specific subsets and areas that naturally pay higher. It's hard to find a career path that's gonna pay you a lot more than software sales right off the bat. You have the ability to master a skill that's transferable and will last you a lifetime, sales, and also get paid a lot in the process. So when we think about rating 0 to 10, 10 being good, 0 being bad, the pay in software sales, I'd say, is an 8. I make more than most of my friends, not saying that to brag. It's simply because I landed at a good company in software sales. Number 2 criteria is autonomy. Autonomy is defined by feeling like your own boss. And of course, depending on the job, the industry, you could be micromanaged. The beautiful thing about sales is that you have a quarterly quota. Each quarter, I need to close a specific number, generate an amount of revenue to accelerate top line growth. I have a number. It's up to me to go hit that number. And I have a manager that helps me close deals. I have resources that help. Ultimately, I set my own hours. If I want to start working at 8, I'll start working at 8. I usually wake up right over there. That's my bedroom. And then I go, boom, and plod here right on this chair. I'll work for usually 11, 12 hours a day. A lot of people say, Trent, how many hours should I expect to work? The answer is you need to work as long as it takes. And being autonomous, I'd say it's a 7 or 8 because you set your own hours. You can show up when you want, you can leave when you want. Ultimately, you are responsible for a number, quarter over quarter. Some people can do it in less time, some people need more time, and you're not getting paid hourly. You're getting paid a salary. You're not going to get overtime. You're paid based on performance. So you have a lot of autonomy. With the autonomy comes a lot of responsibility. Number 3 is competitiveness. And this is something you really need to think about. And I define competitiveness as how difficult is it to get in that career path and get that job? And then once you're in that job, how competitive is it to succeed from both internal and external forces? When we think about the stereotype of super competitive, I think Wall Street, I think investment banker, I think 0.5% of people get hired to go to JP Morgan, Goldman Sachs, and then half of them get cut to make it to the next promotion, whatever it may be. Software sales is competitive. It's not quite as cutthroat as that. And the analogy I like to say is some of these other career paths are so competitive, you almost have to sell your soul to find success. For example, working in finance. Whereas in software sales in the tech industry, it's a little bit more loose, but it is still quite competitive. I recently made a video how to get a job in sales with no experience. I had no experience. I had no internships. I had no connections. I was in college and I was in a sales center, so I had low-hanging fruit that helped me find the job. Once I eventually got in the job, I recognized it was quite competitive, both internally from colleagues who were talented and externally now being an account executive. There's market forces out of your control. I'll be working a deal. I'll think, oh man, we're going to win this deal. And then all of a sudden I say, what other, I have the hiccups right now. I just ate salmon, prepared it in the air fryer. If you've never had that, you should totally do that. I'll be working a deal and I'll say, what competitors are you looking at? And they'll rail off the top 3, the big 3 I always come up against. I lose a lot of deals to them. I beat a lot of deals to the competitors. It's very competitive, so you need to know your stuff. And there's a lot of sales skills that come with it, such as discovery. And that's what I have written on these little post notes are my goals. And then things to think about with discovery, and that's building value throughout a sales cycle. When you're in college, you naturally become more talented. You go from high school, you're probably talented, whatever. Go to college and you realize, wait, there's a lot of smarter people than me out there, a lot of funnier, a lot of better looking people. And then when you get into an industry and a great company, that talent funnel has condensed. And all of a sudden in college, I would be with other people in class and think, this person's a joke. This person doesn't know anything. When you get in career, naturally everyone's talented. And then as you promote it, think of it as this pyramid. A lot of people right out of college, you go up to the next level, it's smaller. The next level, it's smaller. The next level, it's a tip of the triangle. Each promotion I experience, I am with other colleagues who are naturally way more talented, way smarter. And you'll continue to elevate in your career. So really it falls on you to become a lifelong learner. But when we think about competitiveness, that's what you can expect. And I'd say it's a 5. It's competitive, but it's not the most competitive. Getting into sales though, you gotta expect it's gonna be competitive and you gotta naturally be a competitive person. We see everyone's numbers. You can't hide how many calls you're making. You can't hide how much revenue you close. You can't hide your performance. So you need to be competitive because you not only wanna beat everyone around you, but you want to constantly live up to your own potential. If you're still with me, drop a like on this video. It really helps. Number 4 is long-term upside, and this is my personal favorite. So if you're still with me, you're going to get a lot from this point. You want to pick a career that's future-proof in nature. Where is all the innovation happening? Who makes these laptops? Who makes the websites you go on? Who makes YouTube? It's all the big companies. And we look at this recent earnings season, you look at Amazon, you look at Google, you look at Microsoft, you look at Apple, Facebook. These companies blew out their earnings. They're clearly monopolies and they're dominating the market. Netflix. These companies in technology are at the forefront of innovation, disruption, and where all of the best and brightest people are going to. Finance will always be around. That's a dying industry in my opinion. When I think of finance, I think decentralized, DeFi, Bitcoin, blockchain, and now there's technology companies that are in finance, so you can get that aspect. I really look at finance and software sales as the 2 best industries. Of course, you have pharmaceutical sales. That's a whole different deal. We're not going to talk about that. Now, technology is future-proof, and when we think about the long-term upside of the industry being in technology, it's a 10. It's as good as it gets. That's where all the innovation's going, and that's where you want to be at. It's the new gold rush, working with data, companies that are at the forefront of innovation. And when we think about software sales in particular, is it the right career for you? Software sales is a transferable skill. It will always serve you well. Perhaps the opportunity at your current company doesn't work out. I get messages daily from organizations on LinkedIn asking me to join because being able to work for a company, being able to be a true hunter, generate pipeline, close deals, you will always have a job. Your skills will always be valuable. If you're still with me, you've stayed to the best part. The fifth and final bonus tip and how I've grown my income 3x is because I'm all in. Each and every day, I have massive urgency to win the day. I have massive urgency to become my best person. And if you don't know what you want, if you haven't written it down and you don't feel a similar urgency to get up, get after it, go make things happen, then you're gonna be average. If you want to separate yourself, you need to be all in. You need to not accept alternatives. I set a goal and I say, I will hit this goal. If I fail, I'll work towards it because it's gonna happen eventually. That's the mindset you need to have. If you're trying to take the island and you have your army, you take the ships over across the sea, you need to burn the ships. You don't need to be refueling them thinking, hey, if we need to retreat, then we'll go back. You gotta burn the ships because either you take the island or you die. And that's really how you need to approach your career. No one's gonna care about your success as much as you do. So ultimately, you'll have to answer that question for yourself. Is software sales the right career for you? If you have any specific questions, drop them in the comments below. If you'd like to join networks, if I can help you in any way, if you'd like to just say what's up, send me a request on LinkedIn. Let's join networks. Otherwise, drop a like on this video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Share this video with a friend. We're so close to monetizing the channel. I thank you so much for your support. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.